Hi, I'm Marcella Von Harding. I'm a Royal Crown Diamond with Young Living. I have a PhD in integrative health and a PhD in psychoneurology. And today I'm really honored to speak to you about the psychology of success, the mindset that will take you to the very top in network marketing and take you to the top in sharing Young Living with many, many people. So, the psychology of success. Psychology is a study of the mind and behavior. It's an academic discipline and an applied science which seeks to understand individuals and groups by establishing general principles and researching specific cases. The truth of it is, it's really about our mindset that takes us to everything that we're going to do in life. And you look at, we're all in the same company. Companies have a product. They all have a compensation plan. What is the denominating factor? Well, the denominating factor is you. So today I'm going to talk to you about the psychology behind your mindset. You know, in 1933, they did a study of successful people all over the world, and they discovered that it had nothing to do with race, color, environment, or even education. It all came down to one thing. That one thing that it came down to was your thinking patterns, your mindset, the way that you think. So in the years that I've been with the company, 25 years, I've discovered that if I literally look at this business of network marketing, it's definitely a people's business. It's all about relationships. And I've broken it down into three areas: personal growth, people skills, and the simple basics. So guess what? I have great news for you. All of these things are learnable. They're all teachable. When you came into the world, you didn't know any of these things. They're all teachable. And that makes this business very duplicatable. Because what we do is we find out your greatest assets. We find out what you're good with. We find out the things that you're having some challenges with. And guess what we do? We create a game plan. We create a strategy. We create a system on how to teach you things in personal growth, people skills, and the basics. So the human needs of psychology for success. And for many of us, you know, it takes us back to school. We've learned this psychology, basically Maslow. But the human need to feel important has been found to be higher than all the psychological needs, such as hunger, because after a person has eaten, they are no longer hungry. The need for feeling important is even higher than the need for love, because when love is attained, the need is satisfied. But it's also higher than safety, because when a person is secure, safety is not an issue. The desire to feel important is the strongest constant human urge, and it's the one characteristic that separates us from the animals. It makes people want to wear brand label clothing, drive upmarketed cars, have a title on their door or a bag, or even brag about their children, or carry a particular purse for some of the women's, the bags that we carry. It's the reason kids join street gangs. Some people will even become stalkers or murderers in their pursuit of notoriety. Marriage studies have found that the prime reason women leave long-term relationships is not because of abuse, cruelty, or even domination. It's because of lack of appreciation. The desire to be recognized, to feel important and appreciated is all powerful. And the more important you make someone feel, the more powerful, the more positively they will respond to you. So today I want to share with you about what makes you do what you do. See, the power of influence is the most important skill you could ever master. It can literally give you the power to shape your destiny and to achieve the quality of life for yourself and anybody you really care about. Think about the people who were shaped, who actually shape our society. How do people like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Susan B. Anthony make such a difference in the world? They have the ability to influence people's thinking. If you come from a place of deep caring to develop a strong relationship with people, if you look for their deepest needs, not just what they say they choose, but what their gut level chooses in their needs, you will help them to meet that. And there's no limit to the income, the joy, and the deep friendships that you can have with this. Because the truth of it is, our business is a relationship building business. This is what it all comes down to. So why do you do what you do? Let's go into this and let's talk about what I call the 7 human needs. So you have the potential. You have the potential to do and be anything in your life. And how many of you would like to be a diamond with Young Living? How many of you would like to have your product paid for with this company? That's kind of how we get into the whys of why we do what we do in life. So our first human need is certainty. It's security. Everybody chooses the stability and their basic necessities. That's food, shelter, and other material resources. When people cannot control their physical circumstances, they may risk certainty through a state of mind, such as a religious faith or even a positive outlook. Security and certainty is the ability to produce, eliminate, or avoid stress, or the ability to increase or intensify pleasure. Security, this is our survival needs, not just the physical survival, but the emotional survival as well. This feeling that comes from knowing what's going to happen next. It's the reason people will rent or buy a movie and watch it multiple times. They like the feeling it gives them or knowing the ending. Have we all done that? Our second human need is variety or creativity. It's surprise, it's diversity, it's challenge, it's excitement. It's the reason you don't eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner day after day, because we need a certain amount of variety in our life. The second human need, or the third, actually, we have security, then we have variety. The third human need is recognition or significance, a sense of being needed, a feeling of importance, a sense of purpose, uniqueness. This is the moneymaker need. This is where people will pay anything if they believe it is the best. Everyone needs to feel important to someone or to something. Some of you have heard the name Mary Kay. Well, Mary Kay Ash, the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics, built her highly successful company around the essential concept, the power of recognition and feelings. She said 2 things are more important than money and sex, and those 2 things are recognition and praise. You may not remember what someone says or does, but you'll never forget about how they made you feel. And this is so important in this business. The fourth need is a need for us to have connection and love, to experience love and connection. Everyone needs connection with another human being, and they strive and hope for love, togetherness, passion, unity, desire. Everyone needs to feel connected to an organization. That's why we join clubs. That's why we join churches. We need to feel loved by a person or even an animal. A lot of people will live with animals. Then we have personal growth and development, the ultimate need to experience life to the fullest. Everything in life is either growing or dying. Growth equals life. The law of life is that everything must serve a purpose. And you know what's really interesting about this is all things are either growing or they're dying. So on some level, these personal needs that I'm talking to you now are in every human being. It doesn't matter what color, what race, what age. All human beings on this planet, it's what makes us human. We all have these needs. Then we have contribution. You notice that people want to create a legacy. They want to give back. Combining growth and connection takes into account other people in the world at large. If you're actively adding value to people's life rather than just belonging, we increase our connection and you feel like your identity has expanded. Maslow called this self-actualization. After you have everything, then what? You have to give back. On some level, we all need to contribute. And then for me, I look at the 7 human needs, and with Maslow, we had 6. But the truth of it is, Young Living is definitely involved in health. And we're actually a thriving company that makes a difference in people's health. And what I discovered is that if you didn't have a compelling future, you didn't have a reason to be here. And the most important need of all, the driving course of action is to have a compelling future, something to live for, to give your life purpose. Now, why am I sharing all of these human needs with you? Here's a great quote that I shared with you earlier. Why I'm sharing these needs with you is I have discovered that the driving needs of every human being, if I could meet two of these needs, and even literally what we discovered, if three of these human needs are met, then people actually have an addiction. That's an addiction to anything. That's an addiction to drugs. That's an addiction to sex. That's an addiction to a lot of different things that may not be the most divine and positive in our life. But guess what? We have positive addictions. So what I discovered when I started to look into my organization and I started to actually go back and find out what the two top driving needs of all of my top leaders are, I discovered that if I could create an environment that fulfilled those driving needs, guess what? They wouldn't leave. And I discovered that Young Living actually, the company itself can fulfill all of these 7 human needs. Now, how can that happen? Well, think about this. We have the first driving need of certainty and security. Well, we can actually fulfill that with Young Living. Our company is the largest therapeutic essential oil company in the world. We've been around for literally over 25 years. And why I say that is I've personally been with this company for over 25 years. We're in 130 different countries. We're a billion-dollar company. There's certainty with this. And so that need is fulfilled with Young Living. The second human need was variety. This company has over over 300 products. So with 300 products, do you feel like there's a lot of variety? Absolutely. So that second need is met. The third need was significance. Well, when you have an opportunity to share in people's lives and make a difference to the people, you're getting significance on a one-on-one level with the people that you share the product with. But yet in the company itself, we have ranks. So from executives, senior star, even actually as a distributor with 92% of our organizations just using products. But guess what? For the business builders, there's silver, there's gold, there's platinum, there's diamond, crown diamond, royal crown diamond. So there's an absolute opportunity for significance in the company to get to know the founders and the executive team, to make a difference in people's lives. So we fulfill that need. Then we have this need for connection and love. Well, yet when you're having your own organization grow, you definitely have connection with the people that you're sharing the product with, but you also have connection with the company. You can have connection with the executive team. You can have connection with the founders of the company. So we fulfill that need of connection and love. And then we have this need called growth. And Young Living, because we're constantly adding new products to our company, we're constantly finding ways to use our products to enhance our life. Even with the compliancy issue that's happening today, that's growing us in many ways to find new and exciting ways to share with people how to talk about these products in a way that can add value to their life. So we're growing. And then we have a contribution. Yes, through Young Living, are we making a contribution to people in their lives with our products, with our opportunity? Also, with the Gary D Foundation, we're making an opportunity. We're making a contribution in many people's lives all over the world. We've got schools in Ecuador. We're building homes in Nepal. We're actually providing mosquito nets and things like that in all different countries all over the world through our foundation. So there's lots of ways that you can make a contribution in people's lives. And last but not least, do we have a compelling future in Young Living? Absolutely. Every year our company gets better and better, and we expand in different countries and expanding in different products. So there's definitely a compelling future. Now, Again, why am I sharing all of this? Because it's really a mindset. And when you get into the psychology and you can start to find out what drives the top leaders in your company. Let me give you an example. I have a top leader in my company, and I started to understand Maslow and the psychology behind what drives people. And I started to see that our mindset and our psychology of what we do is the thing that's going to take you to the top. So I started to ask questions to my leaders, and I started to find out what was driving them. So I'm going to give you an example. I have a top leader in my life that what drives him in his life is to actually make a difference in people's lives. Significance was really big for him. Now remember, this is all, every one of us has this drive to feel significant. We have this drive to make a difference in people's lives. So he loves to talk. He loves to talk on stage. He loves to be a presenter. He's done Toastmasters for years, and he loves that feeling of getting on stage and making a lot of difference in people's lives. So I knew that significance was very important to him. I also knew that that was a driving need for him, but I also knew that another driving need was connection and love. So what I did was, in my organization, I knew that he loved to talk on stage. So as a top leader in the company, I have a lot of opportunity to get in front of a lot of people. So I started to call him and ask him, would he love to do presentations with me to co-teach from the stage? This man lit up. It just made all the difference in his life. And so I started sharing the stage with him all over the world. And guess what? He started to feel significant. He started to feel like he was making a difference in people's lives. And he started to look for more opportunities to get on stage and to make a difference into people's lives and connect with those people. So guess what happened with his own organization? It started to expand. He started to grow, and he started to share Young Living with a lot more people. And guess what? His organization grew, and my organization grew. And it's funny about this business, because the truth of it is, the true nature of network marketing, guess what? We don't grow. We won't expand our business unless we help the people in our business. That's the thing I love about this business. The more people we help, the more it helps us. And if I'm selfish and I don't help anyone, then my business will never grow. So network marketing is a business where we put other people first. So the truth of it is, the more I do for you, the more my business will grow. And so this is why, for me, I look to find what these 7 human needs are and how I can create an environment for the people that I'm working with and how I can tap them into fulfilling these 7 human needs with our company. So this has been a real mover for me. When I started to go in and find out what people's driving needs were and fulfill that environment in my organization, my business started to grow. And these people felt connected. They felt loved. They felt significant. They felt like they were growing. They felt like they had a compelling future. They felt like they were contributing and making a difference. And those were all the human needs that each and every one of us need to make a difference in our life. Now, the next thing that I discovered in the mindset, the psychology of success, was I also wanted to go in to their world. I wanted to find out, were they visual in their world? Did they need to see it? And when I had an audience that needed to visualize things, then guess what? I wanted to create a PowerPoint. I wanted to create an experience where they could see the difference that they were making in people's lives. If they were auditory, then I wanted to make sure that I'm speaking to them in their language. And kinesthetic, I wanted to make sure that they felt like they were being heard. How do we make sense of the world we live in? There's 92 million bits of information coming at you every minute of each day. We are actually deleting creatures. We're deleting all that information that doesn't filter into our world in the visual, auditory, the kinesthetic. So I use the VAK. That's VAK. So you can see where I'm getting that, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And we're looking at how to filter this into our world. If somebody says, you know, I see what you're saying, then I want to match their language. And I want to create a language around where I actually am looking into their world and seeing what they're seeing. But if somebody's very kinesthetic, this is a person that's feeling. And I'm talking about visual, and I'm asking them if they can hear me, but yet their world is through the feeling modality, then I'm speaking a foreign language to them. A lot of our little children today are very kinesthetic. And our school system is based on visual and it's based on auditory. And this is why so many of our children are having challenges today in our school, because the teachers aren't asking them how they feel about something. They're asking them, can they see it? And are they being able to hear them? But if they turn around and match their language to the kinesthetic, to how they feel, simply saying, do you get an understanding of what I'm saying? Are you grasping what I'm saying? Those are kinesthetic words. So I'm mirroring and matching and going into their world. And the more that I go into someone's world, the more that they're feeling connected with me and the more I'm making a difference. My business demands that I talk to people. So wake up. We need to do these things and go into their world to be able to establish rapport with any person at any moment in any time. This is what's going to make a difference. And then in closing with this on the mindset and the psychology of this business, another thing that I have done in my business is I've looked at the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. And you know, this book's in all different languages all over the world. And it's about matching people's language. The way you effectively communicate with yourself and others will create unlimited possibilities in your own life and the lives of those around you. So it's very important because, you know, what do they say? Communication is 7% words, 38% tonality, and 55% psychology. So it's kind of like our bodies are talking to us. So it's very important that we actually go into the world and look at how we're making a difference in people's lives. So the 5 love languages has been very, very powerful for me over the years of finding out how people feel love. What is their language of how I'm going to talk to them? And what's amazing is you can go online free through the 5 love languages and you can take a quiz and just discover how it is that you speak and how it is that you communicate and feel loved. And so I'm going to kind of go through some of these really quick. But acts of service, you know, through this little quiz that you can take, you can find out, like, what are the acts of service? Acts of service is like where somebody feels like something that you do for them is more important than actually saying to them that I love you. If you do things for me, then I feel like I'm loved from you. So it's very, very important. It's kind of funny because can vacuuming the floors really be an expression of love? Absolutely. Anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on acts of service person will speak volumes. The words he or she most chooses to hear, let me do that for you. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tells speakers of this language their feelings don't matter. People who speak this love language seek to please their partners by serving them, to express their love for them by doing things for them. Actions such as cooking a meal, setting the table, washing the dishes, sorting the bills, walking the dog, or dealing with landlords, all are acts of service. They require thought, planning, time, effort, and even energy. If done with a positive spirit, they're indeed expressions of love. I'm not saying become a doormat to your partner or do these things out of guilt or resentment. No person should ever be a doormat. Do these things as someone that loves for that person and cares for them. If this is your partner's love language, then what can one act of service have that can make a difference? So this is very important that we find out what that is. Now, some people, their acts of love language are physical touch. This language isn't all about the bedroom. A person whose primary language is physical touch is not surprisingly very touchy. They hug, they pat on the back, they hold hands. and thoughtful touches on the arm, shoulder, or face, they can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and very destructive. So it's very important to find out how somebody feels loved. Another love language is quality time. And this is just full undivided attention, which I find is really interesting today because we live in a world of social media where the youth of today are always on their phones. I've gone to places with dinner and I look across tables and I see people aren't even communicating to people anymore. They're talking on their phones. Be there for this type of person. It's critical, but really be there with the TV off, the fork and knife down, all those chores and tasks are on standby. Make your significant other feel truly special and loved. Distractions postpone dates, or the failure to listen can be especially hurtful for these people. And this is really interesting because in the world today, it's really, really important for us to be with people and be there one-on-one with them. Then there are the people that actually, their love language is receiving gifts. Don't mistake this love language for materialism. The receiver of gifts thrives on the love, thoughtfulness, and effort behind the gift. And if you speak this language, the perfect gift or gesture shows that you're known, that you're cared for, and that you're prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring that gift to you. A missed birthday, anniversary, or a hasty, thoughtless gift could be disastrous. So would the absence of an everyday gesture. So when for my organization, I have literally over 700,000 active distributors in Young Living. And I look personally at each one of my top leaders and I see what their love language is. So if I have someone that love language is not gifts, like they could care less about gifts, I'm not really going to give them a gift. I'm going to do what else is more important. If their love language is time, then I'm going to literally create some time for them. If it's words, I'm going to talk to them. So I match and go into their world so that they absolutely feel loved and connected. And then words of affirmation. This is the last of the 5 love languages. And these are actions. They don't always speak louder than words. So if this is your love language, unsolicited compliments means the world to you. Hearing the words "I love you" are important, or that you mean, that you're important to me, that your organization is important to me. Hearing the reasons behind that love sends their spirits face skyward. Insults can leave you shattered or not easily forgotten. Verbal compliments or words of appreciation are powerful communications of love. Encouraging words. Encourage means to inspire courage. All of us have areas in which we feel insecure. So if we lack courage, which often hinders us from accomplishing the positive things that we would like to do, perhaps you or your spouse has untapped potential in one or more areas of life. The potential may be awaiting encouraging words from you or from people in your downline, your organization. So I think as a leader, it's very important that we stay in connection with our top leaders, that we let them know how important they are, how we value them and the service and the contribution that they're making in our organization, what we can do for them. So some of the resources that I'm sharing with you are coming from the Harding Training System. This is a little book that I wrote. It's available through Live Science Publication and Sound Concepts, and also through my website. I wrote this book just for Young Living. I wrote it for my downline to give them the resources that I've shared with you today. I feel really honored to have taken the time to actually talk about the psychology of success. There's a lot more to this, but today was just a little bit of overview on how, when we go into the heart of how we can add value and make a difference in the people's lives that we're touching in Young Living. You know, for me, it's never been about the check. For Gary Young, it's never been about creating a product for profit. For Gary Young and Mary Young in Young Living, it's been about contribution. It's been about making a difference in the world. And that's why it's so important with the foundation that we give back, that we make a difference, that we're contributing, that we're making a compelling future for the future of the world. I don't know if some of you know this, but if Young Living cuts a tree down, to produce an essential oil, we plant 2 in replace of that 1. We want to make a difference in the world. We want a world that in the next 5 to 10 years, we're still going to have the pure essential oils and the products from this company that you'll be able to share with your family and your children in the future. And I'm really honored to have had the opportunity to talk with you today, to share from my heart some of the psychology and the difference that Young Living has made in my life. And I'm going to close with this. Here's to friends old and new, and to all of us who love what we do. May our time together be nothing less than a stepping stone to great success. I love all of you. Thank you very much. Share the mindset. Get your mindset set in a way that you're making a difference in people's lives. It's not about you. It's about the people that you're with. Go into their world. Find out what their driving needs are. Find out if they're visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Match their language. Go into their world. Find out what their love languages are and go into their world to create that rapport so that you can add value to their life. I love you. I thank you very much. Bye-bye.